When we look up at the stars, there's one question that's just incredibly haunting. In a universe with trillions upon trillions of galaxies, why is everything so quiet? Well, today we're going to explore one of the most chilling potential answers out there, the dark forest theory.
Where is everybody? It's such a simple question, right? It was famously asked by the physicist Enrico Fermi, and it really cuts to the heart of this huge cosmic contradiction. The math, all our calculations, they say the universe should be absolutely teeming with civilizations. But when we point our telescopes out there, we hear nothing, just silence. And that mystery, the great silence, is what we're diving into today.
So, this is what we call the Fermi paradox, and for decades we've been trying to solve it. Are we just alone? Is that the answer? Or is it something far, far more disturbing? One theory, born from the world of science fiction, offers a truly terrifying explanation.
Now, the idea of predatory alien life, it isn't exactly new. It has roots going back decades. But it wasn't until 2008 that the author Liu Cixin really formalized it in his incredible novel, The Dark Forest. And he didn't just write a cool story. No, he crafted this rigorous, logical argument for why the universe is so silent. The theory argues that the universe isn't empty at all. It's actually full of silent hunters. And it's all based on this grim kind of game theory logic where the only winning move is to stay quiet. It's the only way to stay alive. The entire theory is built on two really simple foundational assumptions. He calls them cosmic axioms. First, above all else, any civilization just wants to survive. Simple enough. Second, civilizations always grow and expand, but the amount of stuff in the universe, that's finite. Right away you can see the problem, can't you? Infinite ambition in a finite space. That's a recipe for conflict. And this is where the core analogy comes in, and it is just brilliant. Imagine you are that hunter. You're walking through a completely dark forest. Suddenly, you hear a twig snap. You see the shadow of another hunter. You have absolutely no idea if they're friendly or if they're hostile. You just can't know their intentions. So, what do?
Here on Earth, we'd probably try to talk, right? But in space, that's just not an option. The distances are so mind-bogglingly vast that a simple hello could take centuries, even thousands of years to get a reply. There's just no way to verify intent. And this creates what the book calls the chain of suspicion. You can never, ever be sure the other hunter isn't just sending you a nice message to buy time while they prepare to take you out.
But then there's another variable. And honestly, this one is terrifying. You might see that other hunter and think, oh, they've just got a stone knife and I have a laser rifle. I'm totally safe. Well, on a cosmic time scale, that is a fatal, fatal error. A civilization can leap from the Stone Age to building starships in what is, cosmically speaking, the blink of an eye. This is the technological explosion. And this analogy just cuts right to the chase. The seemingly primitive, harmless civilization you ignore today could have one of these technological explosions and completely surpass you tomorrow. By the time you realize they're a threat, it's already too late. The risk of just waiting and seeing, it's absolute.
So you put it all together. You can't trust them. The stakes are, well, total annihilation. And the risk of them advancing their tech is just way too high. According to the cold, hard logic of game theory, your hand is forced. There is only one move that guarantees your survival. You eliminate the other hunter before they can eliminate you. Not out of malice, not out of evil, but out of pure, rational self-preservation. This is why the forest is dark. This is why it's silent.
But hold on, is that really the whole story? Is it that simple? Well, a lot of scientists and futurists have pushed back pretty hard, proposing some powerful counterarguments against this incredibly paranoid view of the universe. So let's look at the case for the defense. Okay, the first major flaw is a big one, like a really big one. It might just defy the laws of physics. The whole theory assumes that hunters can hide perfectly. But the second law of thermodynamics basically says that true cosmic stealth, that's probably impossible.
Think about it. An advanced civilization would use enormous, absolutely colossal amounts of energy. And anytime you use energy, you create waste heat. Now you can choose not to send out radio signals, sure, but you can't hide your heat signature. Your entire civilization would glow in the infrared spectrum like a giant cosmic neon sign. A true hunter wouldn't need to hear you, they could just see your body heat from light years away.
The second flaw really challenges one of those core axioms we talked about. Resource scarcity. Critics argue that any civilization advanced enough to be a threat has probably already solved its resource problems, maybe with Dyson spheres or asteroid mining. And if you have nearly infinite resources, the primary motivation for war just vanishes. Cooperation and trade suddenly become a lot more logical. And finally, there's a concept you might have heard of from the Cold War right here on Earth: mutually assured destruction, or MAD. Let's go back to the forest. The second you fire your weapon, that muzzle flash gives away your position to every single other hunter out there. Attacking suddenly becomes an act of suicide. So maybe the safest strategy isn't to shoot first at all. Maybe it's to stay silent, stay hidden, and just monitor everyone else, creating this tense but ultimately stable peace.
Okay, so after looking at the chilling logic and some pretty compelling rebuttals, where does that leave us? What's the final verdict on the dark forest theory?
Well, the consensus seems to be that the dark forest is a brilliant, absolutely chilling thought experiment, but it's probably not the whole truth. It relies on the super paranoid assumption that every single civilization will follow this exact ruthless logic, with no exceptions. Still, it's a plausible possibility. It hasn't been disproven because, well, the silence is still there.
But here's the thing. Whether it's true or not, the theory has had a major real-world impact. It's poured a ton of fuel on the fire of this debate over whether we should be actively trying to message aliens, a project known as METI. It's why brilliant scientists, including the late great Stephen Hawking, urged extreme caution. They basically argued that maybe we shouldn't be shouting into the cosmos until we know a little bit more about who or what might be listening.
And that brings us to this final, haunting quote from the author himself. Humanity, with all our radio broadcasts and TV signals leaking out into space, we're that child. We're joyfully, maybe naively, announcing our presence, completely unaware of the rules of the forest around us. So is it naive, or is it a hopeful beacon in a silence that's just waiting to be broken? That is the question that Dark Forest leaves us with.